There is a reason you're still single, and it's not because you're unlovable, not good enough, or forgotten. In fact, the very season you're frustrated with may be the exact season God is using to protect you, prepare you, and position you for something far greater than the relationship you're praying for. There are moments in life where God pulls you away from love not to punish you, but to shape you. Break you, rebuild you, and align you with a love story that won to break your heart the way the previous ones did. Because before God gives you the blessing, He prepares the person who will receive it. And right now, that person is you. In this video, you're about to discover why God keeps certain people single, why He closes doors you desperately wanted open, and how His timing works even when it looks like nothing is happening. Stay with me, because by the end of this message, your entire perspective on waiting, loneliness, and divine timing will shift. Sometimes God keeps you single because He sees what you can't. He hears conversations behind your back. He sees intentions behind people's smiles, and He knows the future of relationships that would have destroyed your peace. You only see what's in front of you, but God sees 10 years ahead. Many people confuse attraction with destiny, but attraction can lead you into a relationship, while destiny protects you from the wrong one. Sometimes the person you wanted wasn't your soulmate, they were your setback. And if God allowed you to enter that relationship, your heart would eventually end up broken, drained, or spiritually dead. So instead of letting you fall into the wrong hands, God keeps you single. Not out of cruelty, but out of protection. If you only knew the storms God has saved you from by keeping you single, you would thank Him instead of questioning Him. Many people forget this truth. Not every person in your path is sent by God. Some are sent as distractions, delays, or detours. When the wrong person enters your life, they don't just waste your time, they drain your energy, lower your standards, and cause emotional wounds that take years to heal. God would rather you be single for a season than broken for a lifetime. Your singleness is not a punishment. It's protection from anything beneath your calling, beneath your value, beneath your destiny. Here's the truth many people avoid. You are not waiting for just any relationship. You are waiting for a kingdom-level relationship. A relationship built on faith, purpose, emotional maturity, and spiritual alignment, not just chemistry and excitement. Chemistry can fade. Butterflies can lie. Compatibility lasts. God prepares you for a relationship that doesn't drain you, but grows you. Not one filled with confusion and guessing, but peace and clarity. So He keeps you single until you heal the wounds you don't talk about. You break the patterns that sabotaged your last relationship. You overcome insecurities that keep you emotionally guarded. You learn how to love yourself instead of losing yourself. Preparation is God's way of saying, don't settle. I'm still shaping you for someone who will value you the way I do. Your soulmate isn't just someone you love, they are someone who requires a healed, whole, elevated version of you. Not the broken you, not the confused you, not the settling you, but the prepared you. This is why God isolates you, not to leave you empty, but to fill you with the strength, wisdom, and confidence you will need for a relationship that is built to last. This season of preparation may feel lonely, but loneliness is where God speaks the loudest. There are people you've prayed to keep, but God removed them. There are people you've begged God to fix, but He let them walk away. There are relationships you thought were permanent, but they ended suddenly. This was not rejection. This was reduction. This was God cleaning your circle, clearing your space, and clearing your heart. Because the right person cannot enter a heart still occupied by the wrong one. Some people were never meant to walk with you into the next chapter. They were only part of your growth process. You wanted a partner. God wanted to give you peace. And sometimes, peace requires subtraction. When God starts removing people from your life, it means your soulmate season is getting closer. God will not bring your future into a life still attached to your past. He will not allow you to mix divine connections with toxic ones. He will not let you confuse someone's potential with their purpose. before God blesses you. He cleans your environment before he introduces the right person. He eliminates the wrong ones before he elevates your heart. E detox is Italiano. This is why your relationships ended. This is why certain people suddenly changed. This is why communication faded. This is why certain doors closed without explanation. God needed space for the blessing you've been praying for. Discernment is one of the greatest gifts God gives you while you're single. Being single teaches you how to hear his voice, recognize red flags, emotional signals, interpret spiritual signs, and develop intuition that protects your heart. You begin to see people for who they are, not who you want them to be. You begin to recognize intentions, not just words. You start noticing patterns, not promises. Discernment sharpens your spirit like nothing else. It prepares you to choose wisely instead of choosing desperately. The clearer your discernment becomes, the harder it becomes to fall for the wrong person. That's why God isolates you, so he can teach you how to see people through his eyes, not your emotions. He teaches you what real love feels like so that when counterfeit love shows up, you immediately sense the difference. Discernment is God training your heart for the person who will truly value it. Your calling and your partner are connected. Your purpose influences who you should be with. Your future determines what kind of relationship your life can support. Some people cannot walk with you into your calling. Their mindset doesn't match your mission. Their lifestyle doesn't align with your destiny. Their values don't complement your growth. So God keeps you single until your purpose becomes clear, because the wrong partner can pull you away from the assignment God gave you. But the right partner will pull you deeper into it. Your purpose determines your partner, and God will never send a partner who distracts you from the mission he created you for. Your soulmate is not just a person. They are a purpose partner, a builder, a supporter, someone who strengthens your faith, not weakens it. If your purpose is still in formation, then your partnership is still in preparation. Many people don't realize this, but God sometimes keeps you single to break family cycles. Emotional neglect, toxic relationships, abandonment wounds, unhealthy communication patterns, fear of intimacy, fear of commitment, codependency, unresolved trauma. If God allowed you to enter a relationship too early, you would unconsciously repeat the same patterns you grew up watching. So he pauses your love life to heal your emotional life. You are not staying single because you're unlucky or single, because you're breaking patterns that existed for generations before you. God wants you to be the first in your family to love. HEALTHILY. To choose wisely. To build a relationship not based on trauma, but truth. Not based on fear, but faith. And that requires time, healing, growth, and self-awareness. Your singleness is not a denial, it is a delay with purpose. Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it won't. Just because you haven't met them doesn't mean they aren't being prepared. Just because the season feels long doesn't mean God isn't working behind the scenes. Sometimes God delays your love life because he's preparing a story that takes longer to write. He's aligning two hearts, two journeys, two healing processes, two destinies. Oh, that when you meet, the timing is perfect. Your single season is preparation, not punishment. Alignment, not abandonment. Development, not denial. And when the moment is right, God will make it obvious. Sometimes, the hardest part of waiting isn't the silence. It's the misunderstanding. The moment you start to believe something must be wrong with you, because everyone else seems to be moving forward while you're still standing in the same place. But here's the truth you rarely hear. God hides the people he protects the most. And if he's kept you single longer than you expected, it's because he's guarding you from choices you can't see, battles you don't understand, and futures that would break you long before they bless you. And now, in this second half, I want to take you deeper into the reasons people don't talk about, the reasons that feel uncomfortable, the reasons that explained why God sometimes takes his time. A very long time before he places the right person in your life. Because the truth is this: singleness isn't a punishment. It's a setup. A setup for alignment, healing, elevation, and spiritual growth that you cannot learn inside a relationship, only outside one. Let's continue. Reason number 5, God keeps you single because your calling is heavy. Some people carry normal callings, some people carry big callings, and a few people carry callings that shake heaven. If you're the type of person who thinks deeply, feels deeply, sees patterns others ignore, gets spiritually drained around the wrong people, or senses things long before they happen, then listen carefully. Your calling is heavy, and heavy callings require heavy preparation. If God gave you a relationship too early, you would either shrink your calling to keep the relationship, or you would outgrow the person so fast that the relationship would collapse under the weight of your purpose. So instead, God keeps you alone. Not lonely-alone. Because isolation builds sensitivity. Isolation builds discipline. Isolation builds spiritual hearing. Isolation builds divine alignment. You're not single because your life is empty. You're single because your life is full of assignments, full of heaves, full of responsibilities that require clarity. Some people want love, but God is preparing you for legacy. Your assignment, your influence, your future impact cannot be connected to just anyone. You need someone who can carry the weight with you, not collapse under it. Reason number 6, God is removing counterfeit attachments from your life. Let us be honest. Not everyone you liked was good for you. Not everyone you cried for was meant to stay. Not everyone who made your heart race was sent from God. Some were sent as distractions, detours, delays, or even spiritual tests. But here's the problem. Most people never admit you can meet your God-sent person if your heart is still spiritually tied to someone who was never meant for you. This is why God separates. This is why God distances. This is why God disconnects people even when you begged him to fix it. Because you were praying for a soulmate, but holding on to a soul tie. You were praying for alignment, but holding on to attachment. You were praying for destiny, but holding on to history. God won't bless what you refuse to release. Sometimes God keeps you single because he is not trying to bring someone in, he is trying to take someone out. Those old emotional connections, those memories, those what-if questions, those late-night thoughts about people who hurt you. They block the space God needs to fill. He's not punishing you. He's preparing you. And part of preparation is detox. A detox of the heart. A detox of the mind. A detox of the soul. You can't carry old emotions into new seasons. God will keep you single until the emotional parasites are gone. Reason number 7, God wants your heart to be whole, not half surviving. Now listen closely, because this is the part people avoid. Many of us want love, but we want it because we're hurting. We want someone to understand us. Someone to hold us. Someone to fill a void that life carved inside us years ago. But relationships don't fix emptiness. They expose Italiano relationships, tante heal wounds. They reveal them. Relationships don't erase insecurities. They magnify them. This is why God sometimes refuses to send someone into your life, because he knows you're still healing from old battles, childhood pain, past rejection, and silent wounds you never talk about. You're not being punished. You're being rebuilt. God doesn't want you entering a relationship as a half-healed version of yourself, because half-healed people build half-broken relationships. And let's be real. You've spent so many years being strong for people, carrying others, fixing others, loving others who didn't love you back. Now God is giving you a season where you are the one being restored. You deserve to love from a place of wholeness, not survival. Reason number 8, God keeps you single to protect your sensitivity and calling. Some people are emotionally sensitive, but you're spiritually sensitive. You feel spiritual atmosphere shifts. You sense people's intentions. You detect dishonesty without logical explanation. You experience intense intuition that you can't ignore. And sensitive people cannot be paired with just anyone. If you end up with someone who drains you, you'll lose your intuition. If you end up with someone who spiritually sleeps, you'll lose your discernment. If you end up with someone who mocks your faith, you'll lose your spiritual identity. So instead, God places a shield around your heart. He blocks the wrong people. He removes the draining people. He exposes the deceptive ones. He keeps you unavailable to those who would dilute your spiritual strength. Your sensitivity is a gift, but in the wrong relationship, it becomes a burden. Your heart was designed for something deeper. Your spirit was shaped for something bigger. Your purpose demands a partner who is spiritually awake. God isn't delaying your love story. He's safeguarding your spiritual wiring. Reason number 9. You're in a season of identity transformation. Pay attention to this part. God doesn't send your person to the version of you that's still growing. He sends them to the version of you that is ready. Sometimes he keeps you single because you're still discovering who you are, what you want, what you tolerate, what you won't tolerate, your values, your standards, your boundaries, your emotional language, your spiritual identity. Identity takes time. Transformation takes time. Growth takes time. God doesn't want someone falling in love with a version of you. Yes, trying to transform. When your identity changes, your relationships change with it, and God knows exactly when you will be aligned with a partner who fits the future version of you, not the past version. Reason number 10. God keeps you single because He is making you impossible to replace. This may be the most powerful reason. Sometimes the waiting, the healing, the delays, the spiritual pruning all lead to one thing: uniqueness. God is shaping you into a person who loves deeply, sees clearly, feels spiritually, speaks life, grows intentionally, forgives gracefully, and carries wisdom beyond your years. And when God crafts a person with this much depth, He is very selective about who they end up with. Your standards are higher, your spiritual awareness is sharper, your emotional intelligence is deeper, your compassion is stronger, your intuition is more accurate, your purpose is more defined. You're not average, you're not common, you're not replaceable. God keeps the rarest diamonds hidden the longest. Your singleness isn't an accident. It's an indication of your value. How to trust God's timing, the path to peace. So now the question becomes, how do you trust God's timing when your heart is tired of waiting? Here is the truth. Trust isn't built overnight. It's built through revelation. And God begins revealing through 3 paths. 1. Acceptance of His process. Trust grows when you stop fighting the season God placed you in. You may not understand the delay, but you can understand the purpose. You may not see the plan, but you can sense His protection. You may not feel progress, but the transformation is happening inside you. This is the hardest part. The moment you stop trying to force love, force timing, force connection, force outcomes, that's the moment God begins moving. Control is based on fear. Surrender is based on faith. And faith activates God's timing. 3. Expectation, not desperation. Desperation weakens you. Expectation strengthens you. Desperation settles. Expectation prepares. Desperation lowers standards. Expectation raises them. And when your heart shifts from fear to expectation, you begin walking like someone who knows God is preparing something good. Because, say, closing emotional lift, final 1-minute hook. So if you're watching this right now, and you feel forgotten, and you feel left behind, and you feel confused, and you feel tired of being the only one still waiting, hear me clearly. You are not behind. You are being tailored. You are being refined. You are being spiritually upgraded. And when God finally brings the right person into your life, it won't be too early. It won't be too late. It will be exactly on time. Perfectly aligned, perfectly suited, perfectly prepared. Your waiting is not wasted. God is writing a story that will be worth every tear, every delay, every lonely night, every unanswered prayer, and every silent season. Hold on. Your timing is on the way. And when it arrives, you will understand why you had to wait this long.